how does a warlord written to die after 3 episodes become a huge hit that overtook the show that created her? Arriving when syndicated action was booming, it turned the redemption story into a fantasy phenomenon watched in more than 100 countries. So how did this spin-off make it through chaos, backlash, and fallout that carried on long after it finished? Let's find out. This is the messy history of Xena, Warrior Princess.
The power. The passion.
In 1994, Universal released 5 Hercules movies that turned the Greek myth into one of the biggest syndicated shows of its time. That gave the studio a new problem. It needed another show that could sit properly behind it. Universal already had Vanishing Son, but it wasn't the right fit. On the other hand, series creator Robert Tapert spent years trying to crack a female action hero. Every time he started with her as a good person, she just felt too clean, too safe, and it just didn't work. Then it clicked. Give her a dark and violent past. Meanwhile, writer and producer John Schulian was working on Legendary Journeys and wanted to do a story about a woman who came between Hercules and Aeolus.
You didn't let that stop you from standing up to him. You were a true warrior.
So Schulian's story and Tapert's old idea mixed together as a 3-episode arc about an evil warrior princess with Hong Kong-style fighting and no problem killing her own men if that helped her win. To make her stand out, Tapert found a chakram in a book and wanted it as her signature weapon. Schulian hated it, but Tapert thought it was the coolest thing he had ever seen. With the chakram staying, the studio still needed someone to throw it, and their first choice was Vanessa Angel. Xena was meant to start filming on December 29, 1994, but Vanessa had the flu and couldn't fly. The producers, though, had no room to push the schedule back, so the next day they started making calls all over, but no one wanted to fly to New Zealand on New Year's Eve. Then Tapert had a light bulb moment. He remembered Lucy Lawless from the Hercules movies and tracked her down while she was on a camping holiday. The initial idea was that Xena would split Hercules from Aeolus, turn against her own men, and then die. But when they started shooting the gauntlet, Tapert saw what Xena could be. With Universal worried about Vanishing Son, making a show focused around Xena looked like a great idea. So they changed the 3rd episode and she survived. Now the series would follow her, trying to make up for the villages she had destroyed and the bodies she left behind. But she still needed a partner.
The danger.
Sunny Dench was meant to take the part of Gabrielle, but she didn't want to leave her boyfriend in the States to move to New Zealand. So the role went to Renée O'Connor, who had already appeared in the Hercules movie The Lost Kingdom. From there, the supporting cast filled out around them. Kevin Smith appeared as Ares, the god of war, with Hudson Leick coming in as Callisto, while Alexandra Tydings appeared as Aphrodite, the goddess of love.
I need a strong warrior type to do me.
Before the show aired a single episode, almost every station in the country had already picked it up. When the show premiered in September 95, the ratings took it to another level. And by 96, it had passed Hercules, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and Baywatch in the rankings. On the other hand, some of the moaning critics had something negative to say. Variety worried that macho male viewers wouldn't sit through a woman fighting in a metal breastplate. Entertainment Weekly, though, gave the first season a B+, comparing Xena to a steroid-fueled Wonder Woman and pointing to the obvious delight in Lawless's performance.
All new series. Celebrate your dark side, don't run away from it. In a hero's world.
Behind the scenes, Xena was shot on a tight budget in New Zealand, built around outdoor locations and long days with almost no time to prep. That pressure reached the music as well. Composer Joseph Loduca had almost no time to write the theme and wrote it on the way to the airport in the same way he had written the Hercules theme. When he brought in a Bulgarian woman's choir for the main title, the studio pushed back and asked why an American show needed foreign vocals, but Tapert liked it and he overruled them. The stunts were just as rushed, and early on, the crew hadn't fully worked out how to do them safely. According to Lawless, that really showed during a hanging scene where actress Mary Elizabeth McGlynn sat on a horse with a noose around her neck that was supposed to break away under pressure. The problem was, the crew didn't actually know how to rig a breakaway noose. When the horse bolted, the rope started tightening around her neck, and Lawless says she still feels sick just thinking about it. The writers also had their own problems during the first season. Writer and producer R.J. Stewart felt Xena got off too easy for everything she had done as a warlord. So he wrote Callisto, a victim from Xena's past, out for revenge. The original plan was to kill Callisto, but the fan reaction showed she was too good to lose. In that same episode, they also introduced Ted Raimi as Joxer. He came back during the second season, and the fans hated him. Sites went up listing ways to kill him off, and Raimi said he stopped reading them once the list passed 40. Then, in 1996, Lawless was filming a comedy sketch for The Tonight Show in LA when the horse she was riding slipped on a wet platform and fell on top of her. The production shut down for a few weeks while Lawless recovered. Once she was back, the next problem came from the network. The suits upstairs wanted the relationship between Xena and Gabrielle to be kept ambiguous, because they believed making the romance too clear could make some local TV stations drop the series.
An entire town fears him, but face to face with a vengeful warlord.
By 1999, the show was facing another problem over what it could put on screen. The episode titled The Way used Hindu deities Krishna and Hanuman as characters. Hindu groups protested that real gods were being scripted like fiction, so Studios USA pulled the episode from international distribution. Off-camera, a deeper rift was with Hercules. Kevin Sorbo said the show had gone too far into violence and what he called lesbianism, while also complaining that Xena had taken his directors, half his writing staff, and half his crew.
Warrior princess.
By the time the show reached its sixth season, the syndication market had already changed. Local stations were filling more of their own primetime slots, and shows like Xena were getting pushed aside. By then, Tapert and R.J. Stewart were also exhausted and felt it was better to end while the show could still go out properly. Meanwhile, the ratings took a massive 40% drop. So in October 2000, Studios USA announced that the sixth season would be its last. Production in Auckland started winding down and put around 200 jobs at risk, along with local businesses that had been feeding and supplying the show for years. Xena aired its final episode in June 2001, but the ending didn't go quietly. The final episode ended with Gabrielle alive and Xena gone for good. Some fans accepted the sacrifice, but many really hated it. To them, the show had killed Xena, split her from Gabrielle, and denied them one final ride together. Tapert and Stewart said they had decided early on that Xena's story needed the ultimate sacrifice. Lawless later said the show never took the easy way out. She also admitted the death hit fans hard.
Our opponent, a super race of conquerors.
While fans were still arguing over the ending, Xena was already moving on to home video. Universal first put the series on VHS in '99. Then between 2003 and 2005, Anchor Bay Entertainment released all 6 seasons on DVD. Then Universal brought out a complete box set in 2016. Now at the time of filming, there still doesn't seem to be an official Blu-ray release. Now for fans who want to add the series to their collection, I've added a link in the description below, and there should also be a card popping up on screen to help you check it out. Beyond the home media side, Xena became the biggest thing to come out of the Hercules world. The fan base kept it alive in Xena conventions, fan sites spread across the internet, and the fans even had their own name, Xenites. A lot of that came from the relationship between Xena and Gabrielle. The show kept the relation in subtext, but the audience grabbed onto it anyway. Fans argued over it and wrote around it. The tie-ins kept going as well. They had comics, trading cards, video games, and of course we had the 1998 animated crossover movie Hercules and Xena, the animated movie. Years later, NBC tried to bring Xena back, with Sam Raimi and Robert Tapert attached as executive producers, but the network dropped the reboot in 2017. Now the Hercules connection also left a nasty aftertaste. In 2007, Kevin Sorbo reignited his feud with Lucy Lawless. He told Film Stew that she had only landed a small part in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man because she was with Robert Tapert, then claimed she had left her husband and Tapert had left his wife. By 2010, he went further in Black Book by implying Lawless might be a closet lesbian and claimed she had won the role of Xena by seducing Tapert, even though Vanessa Angel had already been cast before. Lawless mostly left it alone. Then in 2021, after one of Sorbo's posts started another online row, she finally hit back on Twitter, calling him a peanut. As for my own take on the show, I see it pretty much the same way I see Hercules. They both had that proper 90s adventure feel. Hercules was lighter and a bit more fun, while Xena had that darker edge, but they still felt like they belonged in the same world. Now, just like Hercules, I haven't gone back to watch Xena until I had to make this episode, and watching it today, it's alright. The show's cheesy and campy, just like Hercules, but for the 90s, it worked. Now, we're not done yet. Next time, we take a look at another classic series. Until then, why don't you check out our video on young Hercules?
Of light and darkness, Zeus, king of the gods, ruled the universe.
Thanks for watching, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.